Hey everyone, welcome back to another Hammond collection review. Today we're taking a look at John Hammond and the baby Stegosaurus. This latest round of small figures has seen kind of a weird release. I actually got the John Hammond, it's been sitting in my basement for a couple months now. Got it off Amazon and it's been sitting in the package, waiting for me to get my hands on this baby Stegosaurus. So I guess what happened was Amazon got stock in early, and those of us that placed pre-orders in very, very early actually got the figures, and everyone's freaking out, not knowing if these are going to get distributed. And then, Beyond the Gates happened, blah, 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 available on Target for pre-order. And now I finally got them in hand. I actually ended up getting the Stego from Amazon. Hammond and Nedry have been showing up in Target stores. I'm sure the baby Stego and T-Rex are probably going to be showing up in stores very, very soon. And I'll leave a link down below in the description to Amazon if you want to order these figures for yourself, because Target just seems to be really, really unreliable lately with pre-orders. So let's go over the packaging really quick before we crack these two figures open. First up is John Hammond. Let's adjust the lights a little bit. We got the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary logo up here. Hammond collection, John in the front with all his neat little accessories. Nice, excellent picture of John. On the side of the box, we got the Jurassic Park logo. On the side, on the back, we got a little story. Dr. John Hammond, led by his steadfast desire to create something that was real. Dr. John Hammond is the driving force behind Jurassic Park. And while the initial tour goes wary, at least the ice cream doesn't disappoint. I just like the little cheeky dialogue on the back of these boxes. Next up is the baby Stegosaurus from the Lost World. On the side of the box, we got a nice picture of the baby Stego with the Lost World logo. And the back of the box, we got a nice production photo of the baby along with the still from the Lost World. In search of the perfect photo, Dr. Sari Hardin bonds with a young Stegosaurus. Bonded. She just took a picture and touched it. Like she told everyone, don't touch anything. She's the biggest hypocrite in the series. But a noisy camera proves that these dinosaurs are far more than big iguanas. So yes. So let's crack both these figures open and take a closer look. And here are both figures out of the packaging. And I have to say, quite impressed with both of them. John Hammond's fantastic. Even his mainline Legacy Collection figure was really good. But the Hammond Collection version just elevates the figure to a whole new level. His cane looks good. It has extra paint apps compared to the original one. He comes with a bunch of accessories, which we'll get to later. And he has a very, very good Richard Attenborough likeness. The baby Stegosaurus, it's a great figure. It has a lot of articulation. It's really fun to play around with. Just not wild about that mouth articulation. It makes the figure look really goofy once it's open. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But yeah, both figures look good. And Hammond Collection, they are giving the Lost World, a little bit of love here or there. But now with the newly introduced Carnotaurus, I've been saying it forever in my Hammond Collection reviews that Mattel needed to do another size class in between the $20 figures and the Rex, and they finally did with the Carnotaurus. So hopefully that means an adult Stegosaurus is somewhere in the near future. And now for measurements, John is your standard 3 3/4 inch figure, so around 9.5 centimeters. I mean, he is 1/18 scale, and the baby Stegosaurus is 6 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of that very tiny tail, or 15.25 centimeters, and 3 inches tall to the tallest plate on his back, or 7.6 centimeters. So the animatronic used in the Lost World, which was actually nicknamed Claire on set, was around 7 feet long. So that put this figure somewhere in the 1/14 scale range. So still a little bit big, but it's actually much more proportionate than the Legacy Collection baby Stego that we got early on last year. Now let's first take a look at John Hammond. Really, really love how he came out. He looks a little bit better than the Legacy Collection release Hammond, but yeah, he just is really, really well done. You can see he can hold his cane properly with that articulated wrist. And let's just pop that cane off and bring Mr. Hammond a little bit closer and take a look at that really nice head sculpt. Very nice Richard Attenborough head sculpt on here. And then you can see his glasses are removable. With all these little pieces and glasses that come with these Hammond Collection figures, it's actually kind of a pain to take off on him. But there we go. We got his glasses off, so you can take a look at that nice head sculpt. His eyes all nicely painted right there. The only downside is you have that those big holes on the side of the head. But like I was saying about these little glasses and all the little accessories come with these Hammond collection human figures, man, it's going to be really interesting to see how much some of these figures go for later on years, complete sets, because these pieces are really, really easy to lose. You can see he actually has his watch painted on his wrist. You can actually see the watch hands painted on there. Very, very nice paint apps. He's all decked out in white, and yeah, very, very nicely done figure. Love how he came out. You get his hat right here. You got a little paint around the trim. So yeah, let's do his articulation really quick. His head can go side to side, a little bit up, a little bit down on that ball joint. Arms can swing out, rotate 360 degrees. You get a just under 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. You get nice wrist articulation and rotation. His waist, does he have a waist? I can't, he does, but it's kind of, yeah, there we go. I got it right here. It's kind of hard to maneuver because his shirt goes over the waist. And we actually do have a new articulation joint. We do get a rotation at the thigh, and the Nedry figure had it too. I actually missed it on that figure, but yeah, this is a very, very welcome joint on these figures, almost like a mini Marvel Legend. Legs can kick up, but they're restricted by the shirt, but you do get a nice bend on that double knee joint, and then going down to the feet, you get rotation at the feet and up and down movement on the hinge joint. So yeah, the articulation figure, this is basically, Star Wars, vintage collection articulation on these human figures, and I absolutely love it. Now let's take a quick look at the accessories that come with John. We have his iconic amber cane. See the mosquito printed on the amber right here. It's the same mold as the cane that came with the Legacy Collection one, but it has slightly better paint apps. It has more of a nice natural bone coloration. For the cane, you actually have a little bit of black for the tip of it, but yeah, that's his iconic accessory. And then we do get an alternate head without his hat. Same thing, the glasses can be removed. Very, very nice. Like I keep saying, Richard Attenborough sculpt. My hands are shaking like crazy. This is what happens when I do these reviews in the morning while I'm having my coffee. And then we also do get a couple pairs of hands. We have this one with his little pinky ring on there. It's a very, very nice touch. And we have an open hand with his other ring, with his actual ring finger ring on here. And then we do get the tub of ice cream for when he was having that nice conversation about the Fleet Circus with Ellie Sattler. We get a little ice cream scoop that can fit in the indentation right here. A nice little accessory if you don't know that, that couple minute scene in the movies. I like getting little stuff like this. Just makes recreating, the scenes much more fun. And for comparisons, here it is with the original Legacy Collection release. Like I said, both figures are really good, but the Hammond Collection one with all extra articulation accessories really, helps elevate it over, the spectacular Legacy Collection one. And for our last comparison, here it is with Gennaro. Now, the reason I brought out Gennaro is, with Grant and Hammond, we get these in Bolton, we get these alternate, hatless figures. But for some reason, Mattel pulled off, a removable hat on Gennaro perfectly, and I don't know why they can't do it for the other figures. It's just I rather the hat be removable. It adds more play value to it, other than them, with them being glued to the head. So, if they could do it with Gennaro, they can do it with every other figure going forward. I just don't know why they haven't implemented that yet into these mainline release figures. And next up, let's take a look at the baby Stegosaurus. Really, really nicely done figure. It looks pretty much like the animatronic used in The Lost World. And I always love it when we get, here and there Lost World figures, and we just got a big one, the Memenchisaurus. So yeah, it's nice to see Lost World getting some love. Guys, see a little bit more love for Jurassic Park 3. Really hoping for a Hammond Collection Spinosaurus sometime next year. So let's take a look at this little baby's head. The eye is painted brown with a black pupil. We have a little bit of white paint right there to give it that reflective look. A splash of orange on the head. The beak is painted light gray. The whole body is decked out in this really dark olive green coloration. You have little splashes of yellows for the flanks and the underside. All the toe claws are painted, and that is very, very nice to see. They're all decked out in light gray plastic. Going to the plates, they are cast in brown plastic with black painted highlights. Very, very nicely done. Here's a view of them from the top. Let's get the camera to focus in and all that nice detail. It has a very elephant-like look to it, just like a lot of wrinkles. Really no scale details except right here along the flanks. And then we go down to the very tiny baby-like tail. Even the little tiny baby thagomizers are decked out in that light gray paint. So yeah, all around it looks pretty much identical to the animatronic, except when we get to the mouth articulation. And for the articulation, the mouth, it's kind of hard. You're going to get your fingernail in there, open it up. It does give it kind of a goofy look. I wish they somehow sculpted, more of a cheek right here. And, that could slide like the gums are, but just a little bit more, forward out to make it look a little bit more like the animatronic. But you can see we do have some nice details. Inside that mouth, the tongue is painted pink, and so are the gums. So yeah, it has a very cutesy baby look with that mouth open. And then for the head, you do have a rotation on the head right here, and then on the neck joint, we do get some upwards and downwards movement. The joints on this baby Stego are really, really tight, which is good because I don't like loose joints on these figures, but it is a little bit of a workout to get this figure posed around. Arms can move forwards and backwards. You do have a hinge on that front arm, and then you do have just under 90 degrees of bend on that front arm. Really wish there was some articulation on the front feet. Going down to the back feet, they can move forwards and backwards. You have a nice bend on the knee right here, and you do have rotation on that ankle joint and pivot and articulation. A lot of movement on that back joint. And then going to the tail, you get some up and down, side to side movement. The tail is very tiny, but you do actually have a little tiny hinge joint on the end of the tail right here, which is nice, and rotation. So yeah, for a little figure, this does pack a lot of articulation. And for comparisons, here it is with the Legacy Collection release of the baby Stego. You can see the Legacy one is a lot bigger. This one is much more proportionate and almost in scale with with the rest of the human figures. Just a little bit big at 114. Should be a little smaller around 118 scale. But I like the head sculpt better on the Legacy one. It just looks more movie accurate. This one's much more movie accurate color wise and size wise. So yeah, whatever one you end up with, I think they'll fit really well into your collection. And sometimes there's a benefit of getting the reviews out a little bit late, because sometimes I'm just really busy. Here it is with the new Epic Evolution Stegosaurus. If I reviewed this Stego earlier, wouldn't be able to do this comparison, but yeah. And let's do here's Mama Stego. This is I think this is the Dino Escape one, which is my preferred Stegosaurus on my Lost World shelf. Like I said earlier, I hope with the Hammond Collection Carnotaurus being released, I really hope we get a Stegosaurus. This is most likely going to happen. We can get Allosaurus. That size class is absolutely huge for the Hammond Collection. Now we can get a much larger variety of dinosaurs. And why not? Here it is with Sarah Harding. Don't touch anything, but I'm going to touch this baby Stegosaurus, almost get thagomized to death. Oh, she was such a hypocrite in that movie. But anyways, yeah, hopefully we'll see some Hammond Collection Lost World characters coming soon. I know, they keep sprinkling them throughout the Legacy Collection, Roland Tembo, Ian Malcolm, and Sarah Harding, but I really want some Hammond Collection figures of the Lost World characters to fill up my shelf. There's so much that can be done with the Lost World. Hopefully we get a mobile command center someday. Maybe that'll be like another crowdfunding thing. I really don't ever see something like that getting a main, like a retail release. But yeah, one can hope. And let's just end this with the other baby that was released in the Hammond Collection. Here it is with the juvenile T-Rex. So final thoughts on these two Hammond Collection releases. Absolutely love John Hammond. I love all the accessories he comes with. The articulation is fantastic. Absolutely love the inclusion of that thigh rotation. It helps a lot with posability. The baby Stego is great, just not wild about the mouth articulation. Other than that, it's pretty much movie accurate. You really can't ask for much more than that. So yeah, I definitely highly recommend both figures. Like I said earlier, I got mine from Amazon. The links are down below in the description. I don't think these have actually showed up in Target stores yet, at least not the Dinos. I know Hammond and Nedry showed up months ago. What a weird release. I just wish the humans and the Dinos came packed in the same cases. I don't really see the Stego being like too hard to find. It's not really a herd building animal like the Gallimimus and Pachycephalosaurus, which the Galley is commanding big prices on eBay right now. And then the next small releases is Owen and Blue. I do not see blue, flying off the shelves because she's a unique individual. Unless people are just gonna buy her and repaint her because she has the smaller feet. Finally Mattel's given like the Hammond collection more proportionate feet with the new Raptor and the Carnotaurus. So it's nice to see this line evolving. So that will do it for the review. I got more Epic Evolution figures coming in this week. Still waiting for the PNSO Saurophaganax. So I'll be getting to those reviews once all that comes in. So stay tuned for all that. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys for the next one.